I am super excited to show off the new keyboard. So, this is the new keyboard. It's a Nord Piano 3. If I can give you a better angle of it, I would. I've got pretty much most of it. All these dials and stuff and all of these things I'll kind of go into detail and explain as we start streaming. Right now I just kind of have it on a default setting. This is the setting I'm using is supposed to replicate a grand piano that someone might use in a studio setting. So it's going to sound a little drier, and that's purposeful for that reason. The way that this piano works is there's a lot of presets, and within those presets are either a piano sound, a synthesizer sound, or both. So this piano preset is just called Studio Grand, which means that it's adjusting all of the different things you can adjust to make it sound like a grand piano that you would use in a studio, as opposed to like a hall or like in a room practicing, right? So it's using the piano sound called Studio Grand 2 Mid, which is basically just they took a grand piano, they took a grand piano that someone would use in a studio and then recorded that and used that for this sound, and then they edited all of the different features to make it sound like it's in a studio. So it's gonna probably for most sound like a normal grand piano, but it's supposed to encapsulate what it would sound like if you were basically in a recording session, for the most part. So I'm using that to start because that's kind of like the most bare bones you can get with this thing. So we're gonna start with this because this might be a good like chill song to start with for this. So I'm gonna kind of skip through a lot of the different presets and stuff, play through songs very quickly, and just kind of show you the different things you can do with this thing because it is an absolute monster. Also, I should mention this. There really has to be like a description feed for this. If it's too loud or too quiet, or I'm too loud or too quiet, let me know. It's a lot easier to adjust this piano now. I'm working on figuring out how to plug this directly into the computer to get sound into it instead of using, because I just have like an amp set up here. But it's a lot easier to adjust sound for this thing. So if it needs to be adjusted, let me know. even the fade out for this type of thing is so much better. It feels so much more like an actual piano. It's so crazy. Not only that, but it just has a much better feel as to how hard you hit the note, the more sound or less sound will come out of it. I mean, it's just more actiony. I don't know how else to do it. Also, I don't know if you can hear it particularly with this. Go back to this. I don't know if you can hear that. But when I lift up and down on the pedal, it actually has the booming sound that you would hear when you're doing that with the pedal, which is pretty crazy. This is just a regular, like Italian grand piano. That's just a much different type of piano sound. So. So, you heard that. Now we're going to use this Italian grand. And we're going to play something kind of more big, chordally, and bright sounding, I suppose. Actually, I got a good song for that if I can find it. Next page, probably, right? Yeah. Okay. So this is an Italian grand, and this is supposed to sound like a regular, old-fashioned Steinway Italian grand piano that you would hear in a hall or something like that, concert hall. So there's a lot of reverb. You can hear it. A lot more reverb than the last one, right? It's also a different sounding. It's subtle, but there is a huge difference, for me at least. We go back to, I think, what was it, 41. So this is the old one. Right? You can hear the difference a little bit. So I'm going to play this song with this piano setting, and then we're going to start to get into some of the weirder stuff. It's a lot more. I don't know how else to explain it. It's just a big, huge sound, right? I'm going to show you one more piano sound. It's actually my favorite one on the entire thing. This is one of the only pianos actually that emulates upright piano sounds. One of the very few. And it's absolutely gorgeous, the different upright piano sounds that they use. I'm going to try to find a song that's going to kind of do it justice. But what we're going to be using with this is, it's called a mellow upright sound. And the reason I like it is because it's a lot less bright, and you could really tell the difference, I think, between that and the other one. So it works really nicely with, like, really anything that is supposed to be a ballad of sorts. Anything that's not supposed to have too much rhythm, very free sounding things. Actually, I got something that I like. Just thought of. So we're going to try this out, if I can get to it. There it is. Just hear the differences. I'll play a couple chords. We'll go back and forth between the two. You can hear the difference. So like before we were playing, right, compared to, huge difference. Right. And again, all this stuff, whenever we switch between these different presets, it's adjusting for not only just what the different sound is, but it's also adjusting the reverb and all of the different effects that are being used to emulate where it's, like, how it's supposed to sound. So with the piano voicings, for the most part, it's just kind of messing with the reverb and the equalizer a little bit, but that's pretty much it. But when we get into the synth sounds, there's different effects that it does and different, like, delays that it can do as well. So, but we'll get into that after this one. So I'm going to play through this with this piano setting. Thanks for the follow. I just love how this particular sound sounds. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. I never heard this song. See, now, like, that wouldn't sound very good with that particular sound. There's so many different sounds, it's crazy. So the other thing, too, that this does is it splits the keyboard in any particular fashion that you want. There's a couple presets for that as well. Let me see if I can find one of the decent split ones. Oh, here's a good one. So it splits right here. And then you can actually adjust, because technically the bass is put into the synth category. You can actually adjust the different volumes of it, so that if you wanted to raise the bass up, like for example, if like we were in a situation where I was, you know, let's not use this song as an example. Let's actually, no, this would be fine. Right, so let's say I'm doing that kind of thing, and then all of a sudden I want to do like a... And then I want to do like a bass solo, I can actually turn down. You know, that kind of thing. I can actually turn down the piano setting a little bit so that the bass is more prominent. Or if I just want to do that in general, I can turn the bass up and the piano down. Let me turn the piano up a little bit, maybe. So you can hear the actual bass a little bit more. Because a lot of times you can't hear the bass, but now it's like I can accompany myself, and this also works really nicely if I was doing like a. As an example, if I was doing like a blues. That kind of thing. Yeah, that kind of thing. Whatever, I'm just kind of fooling around. Which I think that's one of the coolest things. And you can adjust it so that, you know, if you want the bass to go up as high as here, or you want the bass to go as low as here instead of up here, you can do that. And you don't even have to split it with those two different things. You can split it with whatever you want, which makes it even more interesting and cool. Okay, so the next, I'm going to play a song that requires an electric piano so that I can give you kind of electric piano, a different vibe. So that's not the best one for... See if I can find a decent one. There's so many different electric. And so you obviously well, I'm pretty sure you can hear that, like reverberating, that. Right? That's one of the effects, and you can actually just turn that off if you didn't want that to be a part of the thing. Turn that off, and then it doesn't do it anymore. There's actually another effect on it that kind of makes it tremolo a little bit. You can take that off, and then it's just... It's so cool, the different things you can do with this piano. That's just a synth pad. This is a... Actually, that sounds like Diary Diary Docks. I forget how Diary Diary Docks goes, though. I know that there's a Zelda song that's similar to it. actually, that's Zoro's domain from Ocarina of Time. Actually, the synth, this might actually be better for that. Actually, I like that if we take off the effects. Okay, this will work. So I'll play another song with this. This is just an electric piano setting. How you doing, Jack? Thanks for popping by. I'm glad you're liking the piano. This is the best purchase I've ever made in my life, by far. So, I'm going to add a couple effects to it now. So, you have the option of adding 2 different effects. And throughout those effects, you can not only adjust the intensity of each effect, but there's 6 on each one of the 2 effects. So basically, there's 12 total effects. The first one you add that is recommended, or is part of this preset of this particular preset with this piano sound, is a tremolo effect. So listen to the difference. Right, that's without it. You can hear it reverberate. It's a big difference, and you can adjust the intensity of it. right? So right now it's at a decent intensity. Right, and you bump that up. You can't hear it quite as well because it's so high that it's reverberating so quickly, you know. Now it's like almost impossible to hear. Bring it back down though, you can hear it, right? Pretty nicely. And then you just tone down even more. Right. Bump it up. You can hear it more if it for a single note. Right. So that's one of the ones. This is a very low. The preset has it so that it's a low treble. It's very slow. Trying to figure out where. So obviously, if you're using something like this, it's tough to play things fast because then you don't hear the tremolo, right? So if I was doing, you wouldn't use it for that. You use this for like chords, right? The second thing that it adds is something called a phase. That's it with it. That's it without it. So you can hear the big difference again. Without it. With it. So basically what it does is phase will take the sound and start it kind of, it makes kind of the owl type of sound. I don't know how else to describe it other than that. I'm sure that there's a technical term for it. I'm even still just getting used to all of these different things that you can do. But that's the best way I can describe it. Is it kind of, I don't know. It almost kind of just, to me it sounds like making the sound ow with it. Right? Makes it sound almost warped. Right? And I can adjust that so it's really fast or really slow. Right? I can, and the highest is, doesn't even, man, you can make some weird stuff with this, man. And it's crazy how just even simple effects like that have given me ideas to write new stuff like crazy. Because this could be used in like a scary, like if you bump up the phase on this could be used in like a scary game, sort of like. You know, you can really F with that as opposed to this. Turn down even more. This is a more, you can use this for faster paced things because I think it's more prominent than the tremolo. Yeah, R&B, that's another good one, you know. You know, a lot of like Michael Jackson stuff would be good with this. With a thing like this. So you combine the two, and you get this. where you get the preset. Not to mention, we're also messing with the equalizer and the reverb. One of the other things that you can add to it is the delay. What the delay basically does is adds... well, I'll show you. So we're going to take off the two effects, so we just have the regular piano sound. Okay. We add a delay. Bump it up a little bit, halfway. If you can kind of hear it. It's not quite a reverb, but it just kind of makes it, right? You can hear it kind of echo in the back, but it's not quite a reverb as much as it is. Now you can hear it more. Right, you can hear that, obviously. So you can do things like... And you can actually set the tempo that's delayed, right? You can do... It's super fast, but... Right, and go to... You can do that kind of thing, essentially. And you can adjust it so it's delayed a little less. There's actually a couple different ones. That keep it so it just keeps going? No, it's fading out. So you can hear the different things going on, right? And if we add all three, you got this huge delay. I have a huge delay on it right now. If I didn't do that. It's just so cool, the different things you can do with that. Not to mention all the different other sounds, like saxophones. This one. So let's go and do some other sounds. pick out some other stuff that we can do. Harpsichords. Ton of different harpsichord stuff. There's a lot of just piano sounds in general on this thing. Oh, Wurlitzers. There's actually a Wurlitzer sound that I'll show you in a minute that is awesome. Actually, there's another preset I want to see if I can find. No. Oh, this is cool. Listen to the freaking delay on that. That is a crazy delay. But I absolutely love it. So, the Wurlitzer sounds actually are some of my favorite. Tubular bells. And they really just knock the crap out of those. There's so many freaking voices. It's unbelievable. Let me just find the one sound that I really liked. You know, it's in this set of presets. This is pretty cool, actually. I Can't Help It by Michael Jackson. But basically, it's a fretless bass on one side, and then the top one, it's an electric piano. I gotta find the one preset that, oh, this. I absolutely love this setting. This is like one of my favorite settings. This is actually a preset too, again. So I can, and this is actually combining a synthesizer with a piano setting. So the piano setting is this Wurlitzer, which for those of you who don't know, the Wurlitzer is a type of electric piano that has a very distinct sound, which I can take off the synth, and here's the Wurlitzer. Right? And then here is the synthesizer that's been used. Combine the two. I didn't even know that could be a possibility. To be honest with you, I actually forgot that I put Link a song. I forgot that was a thing. Because I'm really just trying to show off this new keyboard today, at least for the most part. I'm gonna have to pass today. I don't even really know how that whole thing works, but maybe someday we'll be able to do something like that. Such a cool sound. I think it's like one of the coolest sounds in the entire library of this thing. Some other cool things. These actually sound like the... This sounds like a Sega Genesis bass. That's funny. Take the split, so you can take the split off too. Actually, that gives me an idea. If we could turn down the piano voice a little bit. To like... Turn up the synth. That's so cool. I didn't even realize I could do that. Ooh. Hey, man. Good to see you. Thanks for coming by. Just showing off the new piano. Crotales. Crotales are an interesting little thing. Massive chords. It's crazy, man, the stuff you can do with this thing. I mean, basically, now I'm taking all of the old stuff that I've been writing, like, on stream for the past few months, I meant to say. Gosh, bro, that sucks, man. I'm sorry. That sucks. I've been taking all the stuff that I've been, oh yeah. I've been taking the stuff that I've been writing over the past few months, and I'm adding these new voices, and it's not only giving me more ideas, but it's validating the stuff I've written. So, like, for example, I wrote this thing. And it makes it sound 10 times better. Because remember before, with the old piano that's actually right over there, but like before with that, I would be playing... I wish there was an easier way to get back to the very top, but I can just do this. I was playing on this thing, which was, I was playing... basically with that. It sounds like crap, right? But now, this is just a preset. This isn't even something I've messed with. This is just a preset in the actual thing. I was explaining earlier, there's basically piano sounds, synthesizer sounds, and then presets, which presets are just taking either one or both of those and manipulating it so that it has a specific sound, but you can change it up however you want. So, a lot of the stuff that I wrote before, I'm using a piano setting. But this particular preset happens to work pretty well with what I wrote. This was actually something I wrote that was supposed to be intended for a game called Valhalla that has very similar sounding stuff to it. And I remember I just, all I could play it on was a piano setting. I'm like, man, I wish I could figure out what this sounds like. And it was a lot of money. It was about $3,000. It was a lot. Oh. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. But here's the thing, too. I mean, I didn't just buy this for me. I mean, this is... I do more than just, stream this stuff and write music. I play out and stuff, so this was essentially a business purchase. So, and I'm not just telling myself that, that's just kind of what it was, Because my old piano was 10 years old. It's a mess. And I can't play out with that thing anymore. It's just awful. So I said, we got to go with the biggest one. the best one. And this is easily one of the best pianos on the market right now. Keyboards. This is perfect, though, for this song. And all it's using is a piano setting and a synthesizer setting. So here's just the piano. Right? And then here's just the synth setting. Right? And then here's both. Right? And it really makes all the difference just having both of those. Ugh. Really, it is. This is called Short Stories. But there's so many of these things. Here's just a guitar. But there's so many different sounds on this thing, and the best part is actually I can use the library that that the brand that makes this. I can use their library actually to upload sounds to this whenever I want, because it just has a USB cord that you plug into the actual anything really. It could even be a tablet. Oh yeah, and especially with this one. This one has a very specific way of doing that too. So like, some of them don't. I don't know if you guys were in here when I was showing the split, but you can actually split. I gotta do is this turns off. Best part about it, like I said, is you can change the different. You can change the volume settings. I know a lot of pianos do have that setting. Mine didn't actually, or it did, but it was a piece of shit. You can actually change it so that the piano is quieter, and you can really hear the bass. Or if I was like in the middle of something, like right. Right, I can make it so like there's a bass solo. I can make it so that it's louder again, right? All that fun stuff. But there's so much you can do with this. I mean, even something as simple as, okay, so let's take an electric piano sound. Oh, that's fucking loud. Oh, probably because I did that. Let's take this sound, right? This is an electric piano sound. Right? Take that off. This to the sound. Right? So right now, there's really nothing to it. It's just the electric piano sound. We're not adding anything to it really. There's no effects going on. There's not really a reverb going on either. The reverb is pretty much off. Right? You can hear there's nothing after, literally. Sorry, there's a car. So right, so you can add reverb to it, first of all. A little bit. You can hear that a little bit, right? So, this is a little bit more. Right? Is a little bit more. And what it's supposed to resemble is, and I've mentioned this before, but I'll say it again, a room, a stage, and a hall. Those are like the 3 different settings, and we can turn that up. It's not reverb. You can ramp the reverb. You don't have to do that. Anyways, let's go back to the original setting. Okay. So, a couple other things you can do. Jeez, why is that so loud? Right? Okay, so there's a couple different things we can do. Sometimes it's tough to even notice the difference for me, so these are different keyboard touches. I see. So I think I'm still trying to figure that out, actually, to tell you the truth. I don't know what the differences are there. You can tell me what the... I'm going to play this a couple times. See if you can tell the difference between these, right? Okay, I got it. Okay, so the first one is a little softer. Doesn't get very loud. Second one. The attack, I think, on the touch is a little more sharp, I would say, is the word that I would use. This is a little off kilter. It's okay. I would say the attack is a little sharper with that second one. What's the preset? The preset is the second one. God. Which gives it more of an electric piano type sound. The other one, almost a little more diluted. So if you want to play something a little softer, you want to play something a little more harsh, right? And then you can actually combine the two. Right, so like the first setting, it's not going to work very well with that. I mean, it sounds fine, but it's not like as good, right? Just as opposed to the second setting, it's not going to sound good with. Again, it sounds fine, but it's not the best it could be. But that's a touch setting, okay? Let's go back to the default. So a couple other things that you can do is you actually can make it so that the pedal, the 3... Also, I never showed you this. I don't know if you can see it or not. This pedal they gave me from Nord is a 3 pedal. It is ridiculous, this thing. Not only that, see if you can hear this. Can you hear it? Just like with a normal pedal, if I quickly do that, you can actually hear the reverberation. You can actually hear that. It's crazy. This pedal is one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. Even if this, like, if I were to ever like give up playing this thing, I would always keep this pedal around. It's for any electric piano. It is unbelievable. Um, anyways, let's go back to this. So that's another thing. And so instead of sustaining it, using it to sustain, right? Right, it's obviously or. That's the middle pedal, and then the soft pedal. Right, all work the same. You can actually use it so that it adjusts the volume. I still don't really know how that works, to be honest. Like I've only had this thing for a couple weeks, and there's been the reason why I have been streaming. There's been some family things going on that I haven't been able to stream, so I haven't gotten the chance to play with quite everything. But so I don't really notice the difference. I don't know if I need to program it so it's a specific way. The other thing, too, is the sustain pedal. You can change it over to this, and now it's a volume control pedal, but it's made it so that it's silent. That's interesting. So I don't really understand that quite yet, but that's one of the other features that it has. Interesting. Anyways, going back to this. One of the other things that you can do specifically with acoustics is we can make it so there's a soft release. Right? The attack isn't as harsh. Whoops on. Those really only work with like regular piano sounds. So let's go back to, this is a piano sound. Right? Do a soft release. See how it kind of abruptly cuts off? The soft release makes it so it's very subtle changes that you can make to these things. Alright, so makes it so it's a little more, I don't know how to explain it, but it's more rounded at the end as opposed to just being cut off. It's one of those very subtle things. Anyways, now we'll go to the effects that you can make. So because this is an electric piano, you can actually add different effects. You can't normally do that with other pianos. I guess you could, but it sounds like absolute garbage, so you wouldn't normally do it. Okay. Alright, thanks for stopping by, I appreciate it. So normally the effects would be garbage on a piano because they're more for a synthesizer type of sound. So we're going to go into a couple of the different effects, right? So first in the effects column, let's start with tremolo. So what tremolo does is change it from this to this. You can hear that pretty prominently, right? And you can adjust the frequency of the tremolo with the dial. It's very slow. This is very fast. It's very fast. I mean, you can hear it, right? I like it kind of in the middle, like. Right. And you can also just ramp it, so it's. I mean, that's like, it's going so fast that you can't even tell. or you can make it kind of in the middle. Now, tremolo 2, there's actually 2 different types of tremolo, right? So that was one. Here's the second one. Here's without. Right? Here's tremolo 1. And now here's tremolo 2. Slight difference, but it's you can hear the. I feel like you can hear the difference. Let's ramp it up a little bit. Maybe you can hear it better. That's 1, and here's 2. Okay. Right. And then you can actually have 2 tremolos, both of them going at the same time. Right. Right. Now we have something called pan. Listen to the pan. It's slightly different than a tremolo. It's tough to tell though. Right. There's a pan 2. You can add both pans. Right. And then we have the wah. Everyone knows wah. The wah actually would normally be used by a pedal. So, because of that, you don't hear the wah. Because it would normally be used by a pedal. So when I think if I have the volume/control pedal plugged in, you would hear it more prominently. Right. And then the last one is something called RM. It's called a ring mod. Basically makes it really grungy and crunchy. Really can. It's crazy. I have to run to the bathroom. So, I'm going to leave you, or I'm going to give you a song here real quick, and I'll be right back. Go back to this. I can only stream for a little bit longer, so we're going to keep going with explaining a little bit more of this stuff. So obviously this is a really crunchy, grungy kind of sound. Right. So that's on that side, basically, of the effects. Now we go to the second side of the effects. Start with this. It's called a phaser. That's what this does. This is without it. This is with it. Makes the... I was explaining this before, like the owl type of sound. That or a warped sound. You can ramp it. Again, it makes it really kind of gross sounding. And then a second phaser. A little different. Okay. Then you have the flange. This is without the flange. This is with the flange. Alright. That's a little more. This is a chorus sound. So what this does is kind of makes the more full sound, I think. Right, ramp it up. Right. There's a second chorus sound. Right. And then the vibe sound. This is without the vibe. This is with the vibe. That actually, to me, sounds a lot more like why is it not working all of a sudden? Oh. Oh, I see. That's more of a whammy type of thing. I kind of like it like... Makes it sound old. Right. And we went over delay. Equalizer is an equalizer. Same exact kind of stuff, but... basically get it at this point. So the default or the preset for this particular setting is it's adding a chorus effect. Oh, there we go. All right, I think I might have fixed the. And so this would probably more be used for like a... And that's all, not another effect, just the chorus effect, chorus 2. Right. So that's kind of the default effect on that. Some of them have other effects that are the other presets and stuff like that. Like this is a preset for this particular piano sound. Right? You add the two preset effects. It has a very slow vibe. They can almost barely hear. And then it has a pan, which you can hear pretty easily. Right, and this is with both of them together. Oh, I see. If you double tap, it switches to just... If you double tap, basically the effect only affects the synth, not the actual piano. So that's kind of interesting. So, like, this is a synth pad, right? If I double tap, you don't hear it. You hear it. That's interesting. I didn't even realize that it did that. Cool. Same thing with the equalizer, I guess. Oh, you can do it on both. Cool. This is just a synth padding. But that is pretty much everything that this does, which is quite a lot, and I've barely gotten into a lot of it. Actually, there is more. I've forgotten a couple other things that this does. The synthesizer section, actually, you can adjust the attack and the release and the decay of the actual thing. So right now, there's no attack, right? It just kind of fades in. You can make it so that there is an attack. But it fades in more, right? This is a 45-second attack. Right? You don't have to be like... or just no attack. It comes right in, right? You can make it so that it decays. Right? Kind of cuts off the end. Dies out, basically. Make it so it's like nothing. Right. Or the release. It just goes. I'm not even pressing a pedal or anything, it just goes, right? Make it a second. But it has to do with release and things like that. There's another thing you can do with that, and you adjust this. It's another one of those really cool things you can do, and I think that's it for the most part. And again, you can make it so there's different synths. Right. But that's a lot of what is going on with this particular instrument. It is crazy the different things you can do with it. So it's like, and the pad kind of warps in. But yeah, there's so much. Anyways, I know I just took a break, but that's pretty much all I have for you today because I have to get going. Thank you guys very much for coming out. If you haven't already and you're still out there, please hit follow. I would really appreciate it. Keeps me going, keeps me interested. And continuing to do this for you guys. So we'll be back tomorrow. I'll do a little bit more explaining about the thing, and then we actually have to change up a little bit of the setup on how to write because it's going to be a little different. And actually, we may just continue to write with the other piano. Well, no, we don't want to do that. I don't know. I have to change it up because I can't reach over like I used to as much. There's a bigger piano. It's a little tougher to do that kind of thing. So maybe I'll just play a little bit more tomorrow. But thanks, guys, for coming out. I appreciate it, and I'll leave you with something. Thanks. I will see you tomorrow.